Today we will discuss about reactions of chiral molecules. First reaction, mutarotation. Muta means change. Together, mutarotation means change in rotation. So mostly we will see this mutarotation in glucose when dissolved in water. So after dissolving, we will get two crystalline forms. One is alpha D glucose and second one beta D glucose. We will differentiate both the crystalline forms using specific rotation. Coming to the specific rotation of alpha D glucose is plus 112 degrees. Coming to beta D glucose, it is plus 19 degrees. So what is the definition of mutarotation? The change in optical rotation of a solution of either form of glucose with until a constant value is obtained is called mutarotation. D-glucose, when dissolved in water, after attaining equilibrium, we will get alpha D-glucose of 36% and beta D-glucose of 64%. So what is happening here? The electron deficient carbon of carbonyl group is forming a bond with the oxygen of fifth carbon. So it will form a stable cyclic hemiacetal form. So the hydrogen is going and forming a bond with this oxygen. You can see here, this carbon is forming a bond with oxygen. Fischer projection. And oxygen is taking the hydrogen from that particular hydroxyl group. So in the second configuration, we are saying that hydroxyl group is represented on left side. In this example, it is on right side. So when you are designating the hydroxyl group on right side, we are saying that the compound is alpha D glucose. When it is on left side, we can say that the compound is beta D glucose. So when we are comparing the percentage of formation, D glucose is completely dissolved. So we can see a trace amount of D glucose. But we can see the particular forms of alpha D glucose of 36% and beta D glucose of 64%. So in this particular process, we can see that the first carbon is not a chiral carbon. But when dissolved in water, it became as a chiral carbon. A new chiral carbon is formed. This carbon is called as anomeric carbon. These two are anomers of glucose. Till now we have seen Fischer projection of glucose, and this D-glucose is converted to alpha D-glucose and beta D-glucose. But coming to Haworth projection, where you can see pyranose structure, 6-membered ring with oxygen, pyranose structure. So how we can write this structure? Here the last but one carbon is this carbon, which is having hydrogen and alcohol group, and this oxygen is forming a hemiacetal. So this one. Next carbon, hydrogen, hydroxyl group. Next carbon, hydroxyl group, hydrogen group. Next carbon, hydrogen group, hydroxyl group. Last carbon, where this double bond O is converted to OH. If it is on right side, so then you will write down, hydrogen up. Coming to beta D glucopyranose. So your hydroxyl will be on left side. So here you will write up. Hydrogen will be on right side. Down. So here, by this pyranose structure, we can differentiate the molecule. If the hydroxyl group is written down, then we can say that this is an alpha form. So we are calling this as alpha D glucopyranose. If the hydroxyl group is on top, above, then we are saying this as beta form. Compound is beta D glucopyranose. Reactions of chiral compounds. Second one, epimerization. There will be a difference in configuration at only one chiral carbon atom. The compounds are epimers and the procedure is called epimerization. So let us understand this epimerization by taking the example of glucose, galactose and mannose. So if you compare both the structures of glucose and galactose. There will be a difference only in C4 configuration. In glucose, the hydroxyl group is on right side, whereas in galactose, the hydroxyl group is on left side. Remaining the total structure will be same. So these two compounds are called as C4 epimers. So let us observe the structure of glucose and mannose. So in glucose, at second carbon we are having hydroxyl group on right side, whereas in mannose the hydroxyl group is present on left side. Apart from that, remaining total example or the structure of both the compounds are same. So these two glucose and mannose are called as C2 epimers. In other words, epimerization is called as a chemical conversion of one epimer to another. Coming to the example, I am taking D-glucose and treating with a base in order to get D-mannose as an epimer of glucose. So first your D-glucose is isomerized to fructose and fructose is converted to mannose. So our starting material is D-glucose, but we are getting D-mannose, where only at one chiral carbon the orientation is differ. Reactions of chiral compounds. Third one, isomerization. So this is a conversion of one isomer to another isomer. Here I am taking the example of D-glucose, where it is converted to D-fructose. Here we can see rearrangement of D-glucose to D-fructose. As I said earlier, D-glucose is first isomerized D-fructose. If you are performing the same reaction continuously, then we will get mannose. But here we are stopping the reaction here. This particular process is called isomerization, converting one isomer to another isomer. Both glucose and fructose are isomers. Racemic modification or racemic mixture. The racemic mixture is an equal amounts of both isomers in 1:1 ratio. So in this case we are taking plus isomer and minus isomer of the same compound in equal amounts. The overall optical rotation will be 0. For example, the specific rotation of D-arabinose is minus 105 degrees, whereas L-arabinose is plus 105 degrees. If you are taking 1:1 mixture of this compound or both isomers, then we will get 0 as specific rotation, where there will be no optical activity for this racemic mixture. Formation of racemic modification or racemic mixture. We can prepare this by 4 methods. First one by mixing, second one by synthesis using displacement method or addition method. Third one racemization, where we are taking the particular type of isomer and we are converting half of the amount to the other isomer. Last one, asymmetric synthesis, where we are converting symmetric compound to asymmetric compound. So our starting material will not contain any chiral carbon, but after conversion it will result in the formation of new chiral carbon containing compound. So this asymmetric synthesis is having two types. First one, partial asymmetric synthesis. Second one, absolute asymmetric synthesis. Asymmetric synthesis. First one, partial asymmetric synthesis. Here I am taking the example of pyruvic acid as a symmetric molecule. That means there is absence of chiral carbon in this particular molecule. Performing reduction using hydrogen in the presence of nickel as catalyst. Then we will get minus lactic acid along with plus lactic acid. So we synthesized asymmetric compounds. How we are saying these compounds as asymmetric compounds? Here pyruvic acid, there is an absence of chiral carbon, but here there is a presence of chiral carbon due to the conversion of this ketone to hydroxyl group. Coming to the second type, absolute asymmetric synthesis. If your pyruvic acid is treated with yeast, then we will get only one isomer minus lactic acid. So this is called absolute asymmetric synthesis. Resolution of racemic mixture. Resolution means separation. So you are separating individual enantiomers or isomers, or in other words, separation of two optically active compounds from your racemic mixture. So this resolution can be done by 3 methods. mechanical separation, biochemical separation, and chemical separation. First one, mechanical separation, where we can use this method particularly if the compound exists in well-defined crystal forms, that means two different crystal forms. For example, if you are taking a racemic mixture of sodium ammonium tartarate, where both the crystals are different, and we can separate both the crystals using a pair of tweezers and a magnifying lens. Coming to the second type, biochemical separation. So here we are taking our racemic mixture and treating with bacteria. This bacteria will decompose only one type of isomer. Either it may decompose plus isomer or it can decompose minus isomer. I am taking the example of tartaric acid racemic mixture and treating with bacteria. So the bacteria will decomposes only plus tartaric acid, results in minus tartaric acid, which we can be separated when we are treating with mold as a pure minus tartaric acid. Last one, chemical separation, which is most widely used for resolution of racemic mixture. So in this particular separation, we will add chemical compounds. For example, if you want to separate a racemic mixture of lactic acid, then we can treat this racemic mixture with minus strychnine, which is an active base, which results in two types of salts. One is minus strychnine plus lactate, another one minus strychnine minus lactate. On fractional distillation, both are separated, and further when you are treating with mineral acid, your active base will be removed and your pure isomer is isolated. From minus strychnine plus lactate, we will get plus lactic acid. From minus strychnine minus lactate, we will get minus lactic acid. So here we are not losing any one type of optical isomer.